Hey guys, the Letsynthesize here. Last week we made a very silly Neuro drum and bass synth sound. If you want to listen to it, just click here. And most of you guys are very interested in the main bass that I presented that synth sound in. So today I want to show you how I made that bass sound. And this is how it sounds. Let's jump into it. Okay, so this is the bass sound that I'm talking about. Actually, it contains two layers. This one is the main bass layer. And at the end, this sound turns into a very screechy kind of sound. And it is actually a layer, so this is how it sounds. It's very, very screechy. So let me analyze these sounds. It is coming from operator. I mean, both of the sounds are coming from operator. And the first one actually does not do any FM because, as you can see, I'm using an A, B, C, D operators. Oh, no, sorry, A, B, C. And they have no connection between them. Actually, operator D would be only the frequency modulator, but as you can see, it is turned off. So actually, this is a simple subtractive synthesis here, because as you can see, I'm using a square, another square, and a saw wave, and I filter it using a low-pass filter at around 300 Hz. Now, with that post-process, it sounds like this. It's not very interesting. And let me tell you one more thing. The pitch envelope here is a very important part because it is giving some punch, some kick to the sound. Without that, it's just very flat. Okay, so let me add the effects, but first let me disable them one by one and activate them again one by one. So you will be able to hear what they do actually to the sound. I think this is it. Okay, so the first one is a saturator. It's actually a very heavy saturation, but a chorus is very important. You know, if you want to make cool Neuro bass sounds, you always need to provide some voices to the sound, like it may come from a chorus or a unison or even flanger. It can be anything, just to add some voices to make the sound even fatter. And when you distort it, that distortion will be very, very thankful for your voices. So it is an important part. Okay, after the chorus, I apply the notch filter to add some movement to the sound. And now an overdrive is coming. As you can hear, the overdrive creates some very crazy frequencies, very unwanted frequencies, I would say, especially at the middle lows and the middle tops. You know, those very noisy kind of ear-bleeding sounds, and the boomy middle lows. These two areas, which are the most problematic areas, brought out by distortion. So after distortion, you always want to EQ out those frequencies. This is why I apply this EQ8 here. So it is very important. I add the limiter and an auto filter, just, you know, for the case if I want to modulate it, like, I don't know, like fading in that sound, somehow like this. Okay. The next one is my favorite filter, the Wow2 filter. Now what I did here is I used the band reject filter. As you can see, I cranked up the resonance to pretty high, and I used this mouth icon here, this mouth thingy, which tries to emulate the human voice. So here you can pick the vowels. I added some distortion, some sine distortion after the filter. So this is sine wave shaping. And I added some modulation to the LFO. So the LFO drags up and down the cutoff of the band reject filter. This is what makes the modulation of the sound. This wow, 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 this kind of sound is given by the LFO. Okay, another overdrive. And another EQ to remove those unwanted frequencies. Okay, so this was the main bass layer, and now let's check the screechy layer. This is basically the same. What I changed here is I applied some frequency modulation on operator D. So as you can see, I cranked up the level on operator D to minus 25 decibels. And I also pulled up the cutoff on the low pass filter. And this is all that I did here, except one thing, because you know the post-affix is completely the same, except one thing. After the post-process chain, I added another chorus to make the sound a little, well, not fatter, but a little synth sounding kind of tone. So I didn't want to have that regular bass tone, bass timbre. This is why I added the chorus. It also makes the sound a lot more screechier. And at the end, what I did here is added some gain to the sound. Basically nothing is playing, only the screechy layer. Okay, so this was the sound itself. I hope you learned today something and you enjoyed this tutorial. If you are interested in the preset, check the descriptions. I was Del Larson and see you guys next time.